with us, but we don't have Roland yet.
No, the online. You eat them online?
I don't know. Is he online? Online?
He's been posting.
You know what? I guess he's not online, is he?
Okay, I'll call his cell phone here.
Okay.
It wasn't just me. Okay.
He's been posting. He's been posting in the last 20 minutes.
It says he's online. Yeah, there's another Roland. Roland A. Doobie.
There's two.
There's a few actually. I'm confused as to which one's his. Let me.
I just added in here.
Okay.
It's Joe.
Roland.
It's Joe.
That's Roland.
He should be under. There you are. Cool. Joanne Crowther said that she sent you a friend request a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the woman I blocked.
What?
I'm teasing.
Oh my God, you were totally freaking me out for a second.
I'm Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. It's Terry.
I'm good. You?
I'm stoned to the bone and happy as heck.
Oh my God, that's great.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you all got some good butts for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I did.
Me too.
Not for Valentine's Day, but I still had them on.
All right, so I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to start here in just a second. I'm going to do just a little bit of a monologue up front, and then I'll introduce everybody, to the show after that.
And I've hit the go live button, and as soon as you hear music,
We're on. Okay.
Thanks, Casper.
Thank you. And we'll have to talk about your buddy after the show. There we go.
Okay, buddy.
Imagine a town where there are no small joints, just all stoners, where Kush is a girl's best friend, and law breaking is the new liberty. It's the Hollywood Hemptress Hour, hosted by your honey blonde Hemptress, Terry Joyce.
Oh, welcome to Hollywood Hemptress Hour. Thank you for tuning in at this hour. We really appreciate it. This is the Hollywood Hemptress Hour show. We are on the Time for Hemp Network, and you know what? We are the only pro-cannabis network on iHeartRadio, and so we are very proud to say that. I want to say Happy Valentine's Day today. Well, it was Valentine's Day. It was a Valentine's Day, a little while ago. Actually, it was still going on. Let me see, 5 minutes ago. We are slightly past the actual Valentine's Day mark here on the Pacific Coast. But I really, I gave a shout out to the NSA and Homeland Security for tuning in. You know what, guys? I want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day too. You know what? It is a day of love, and even if you are invading our privacy, I might as well just maybe soften that with showing you some real love, folks. But, I'm not really I'm kind of bah humbug about Valentine's Day. I got to be honest with you. I just like, well, God, I just got off of doing Christmas and New Year's and, the gifts and the shopping and the pressure and Black Friday. And then all of a sudden it's like Valentine's Day again. And I was actually watching television, and they had a behavioral psychologist come out and help people who might be having to help them have a more positive attitude towards Valentine's Day. And honestly, I don't know. Do I have to have a positive attitude? I mean, honestly, this is what I really feel about it. It's one more day for them to market stuff and then slap a bunch of guilt and stress on it surrounding it. So we'll just take out our credit card and go, here, let me get you the box of chocolates and just shut the fuck up, okay? Some sometimes it just feels that way. And you know, there's these commercials, and you know, no one tells you that you love them more than a diamond, and you know, all these things to show your love, or maybe hope to get laid, and it's probably more about getting laid. And you know, I mean, I don't even know anymore. And I'm not that kind of girl that requires a lot. I don't have to have 12 roses, and you know, and I don't need those things. I don't need to have a box of chocolates. You know, I'm okay with a Reese's Pieces and a big old good nug of weed, and you know, I'm good with that. I think, you know, I wanted, you know, I think there's probably, maybe there's more women out there like me. We don't need much. When you have weed, you pretty much feel like you have everything. And that's the moral of that story. But, you know, here's something that I don't think we knew about. I saw this on the internet. I researched Valentine's Day just to see where did Valentine's Day really come from. And they, you know, it's basically, they say that the bloody history of Saint Valentine, the martyred Roman priest who officiated marriages. The history is that the real history of Valentine's Day is not comprised of roses, chocolates, and pretty cards. And now it's weed. No, I'm kidding. That's not in the article. But instead, crime, imprisonment, and execution are at the genesis of our modern day love fest, dating back to the man whose martyrdom may have been inspired by the holiday. There were reportedly 3 early Christian saints named Valentine, but the one the holiday likely comes from was a Roman priest during the 3rd century AD under Emperor Claudius II. The Roman Empire was experiencing massive turmoil at the time, and dubbed the 3rd century by scholars. Basically, what he did is that he decided to make people, he didn't want people to get married, because when people were married, they had sex and made love and ate chocolates, and you know, gave each other's cannabis oil aphrodisiacs, or you know, had wild sex with hemp lube, or whatever was going on back then. And they didn't want to fight, and so the emperor was, no, I am not having my war agenda going down, so I'm gonna ban all marriages and I'll solve that problem. Well, of course, you know, you can never really stop sex, good chocolate, or hemp lube. So there was another priest that went underground and was marrying couples for the sake of love. And that is, you know, the genesis of Valentine's Day, was that, you know, maybe that the love note was passed through the wall that way, and all that kind of stuff. And so this is where we come to this pressured fucking day where, you know, we get all hung up, where am I going to dinner kind of attitude, when, you know, really, who cares? Just take a big, huge bong hit and eat some chocolate edibles, and you know, watch your favorite movie, or like some you know, rent Sleepless in Seattle and go, you know what, it really isn't like this, but it is nice that Nora Dunn wrote the script. And so on that note, I do want to say, not to be too bah humbug about what Valentine's Day really is, I want to send out all the love to everyone who might be listening, or might be toking on a joint, or you know, whatever. We have universal love. We have universal love of this hemp plant, and we also have you know, we are here tonight at this late hour because we want to have some fun, smoke it, and talk about how this plant has cured the cancer from each one of the other people on this show with me. I want to welcome to the show my co-host, who's been with me all week, Roland A. Doobie, Marijuana Man, and thank you for being here tonight, Roland.
Hey, thank you for that wonderful introduction, by golly. I wanted to point something out to you about that guy. I forgot his name. He's the antithesis of Saint Anthony.
Yes.
I mean, Saint, what's his name? Saint Valentine?
Saint Valentine, yeah.
He was actually, it's actually just, it's confusion. Kind of like that telephone game where you whisper something in somebody's ear, they whisper it in another ear, and so on. He didn't actually officiate marriages.
Oh, he didn't?
He marinated fishes. So as time went on, it just got confused, and I don't know how love got into it.
Stop, you're making me hungry.
And can I add as well?
This is Steve Dakes. We also have Steve Dakes from the UK, and we also have Joanne Crowther with us as who's a guest who's going to let us know her story of healing herself too as well. So welcome to the show, Joanne.
Hi, everybody.
Great.
Hi, John.
So,
Hello.
what did you want to say, Steve?
Oh yeah, and of course the other thing about St. Valentine's is of course the great St. Valentine's massacre, wasn't it? The old Al Capone propaganda machine.
Oh. That's I forgot about that one.
It's to do all that because that was just propaganda. All that shootout, that was in-house. That was just all filmed for the not the televisions, but the news media of the day about the evils of alcohol. He was paid by the feds.
So it was kind of like Sandy Hook. It was just a hoax.
Yeah, it was just a hoax. It was just a hoax. Yeah. You know it. So they shot up all that, and of course the Valentine's massacre became very famous. Great news media, and look at the evils of alcohol. We should ban alcohol. And of course all the cars were running around on grain alcohol at the time.
I wonder if there's going to be another one for cannabis, because they're going to try to stop cannabis. They have anti-cannabis commercials already, and the reefer madness is spreading like wildfire.
Are you serious? I'm not privy to this.
All over the place. I mean, you'll hear like that lady on the news. I can't think of her name.
Oh, the crazy one.
Grace.
Oh, Nancy Grace.
Horrifying things. And this stuff is going to get harder and harder on us as time goes on, and we get closer and closer to national legalization. They're going to be doing some crazy things. Our government is evil. I mean, I've been learning lately. I gave money to the Sandy Hook families, and now I'm learning that it was actually a hoax, and you can't even find any real people that were ever really involved. All they were all actors except for the news media. It's crazy. So, things are going to get weird. They don't want cannabis legalized. They don't want to lose the pharmaceutical hold that we have on the country's money.
Well, I mean, so you think they're going to, because it feels like the media is shifting in another direction, like, Eric Holder going, oh, here's the banks for you guys, open up, go ahead and be recreational. Here's
what they're going to do, and this is just me pretending to be a psychic.
Okay.
Okay, big psychic. We
Right.
now have Moral the Psychic. Come on in.
They're promoting all of this high CBD oil all over the place, and they're promoting high CBD bills to make it legal to make this oil with high CBD. And high CBD is not what kills cancer. So all of a sudden, we're going to have all of these people getting cancer from probably radiation from Fukushima, and the government's going to say, all right, we're going to let you have high CBD oil, and people are going to start using high CBD oil in massive quantities, and they're all going to still die from their cancers. And then the government is going to say, see, we told you so.
With that, I actually believe there is a grain of truth in that.
I do too.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
But do you think,
Nevertheless, not taking anything away, there seems to be some pretty good research on this CBD that, again, the plant has certain uses for certain people.
Certainly, it has its place.
Don't rightly dismiss the CBD equation.
Here's what I've been noticing, because I've been doing this since 2008.
Yeah.
I've had people that have seizure problems, that have epilepsy problems,
Yeah.
and if they do the CBD oil, it stops the seizures, but if they do THC and CBD together, it cures whatever's causing the seizures, and after about a year, they can stop taking the oil, and they still don't have any seizures.
Can you repeat that?
Word for word, probably not, but I can give you the gist.
Go for it.
People, I've noticed over time that people who are using high CBD oils, because I would make that for people using high CBD ditchweed, and they would use it for seizures, but it would stop the seizures, but they would keep having to use the oil. People with THC and CBD would have to stop the oil after about a year and still not have any seizures even after stopping the oil.
Wow. That's the man speaking. The man knows what he's talking about.
This is just anecdotal from my own experience. I have no scientific backing on it.
That's you know, you've seen it with your own eyes. I believe what you tell me what you've seen with your own eyes. I believe you.
Well, thank you very much.
I tried some CBD oil because my cancer is incurable. I'm in remission only. So I have large B intravascular lymphoma. It's normally only found in dead people. So I tried the high CBD oil, and my numbers got all fucked up almost right away.
Wow.
And I got rid of it, and I went back on the regular indica bud oil, and my numbers started going back to normal.
There you go.
So I have to have a high THC oil to stay alive.
I think everyone does.
Joanna, can I just ask you one thing on that? The CBD oil, was it of good quality?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
It was tested. It was high-end. It was all good.
Yeah.
But it just didn't do it. My kidneys and liver started going the other way right away. And I was like, hey, no, I ain't having this.
Wow.
I have a question, Steve. Now, the cannabis oil that you have had results with, and the people that you've been treating with it, is that also has a THC rate, or is it more concentrated in the CBDs?
No, I'm THC. I certainly believe that it's the plant, the whole plant, and nothing but the plant. The quantities of THC to CBDs, I think, is where the research now. Because obviously it's pointless trying to research that it cures things. We know that. There's 1,000,001 papers out there, yeah? With more being... I think really where the research needs to go now is actually on what part does what. I mean, that's going to take them a long time to do that. But no, I believe that the plant has got to be in its complete... And again, similar to what Roland is saying and similar to what Joanna's saying, yeah, there's higher healing, if you like, with a THC content. But then again, I'm also quite believing in homeopathy. Yeah, so I believe as long as it's there in some form of dose, it certainly works. But to what effect it has, again, more research, more anecdotal evidence. I mean, what Roland just told us. Wow, that's good news, man. That's coming straight, as they say, straight from the horse's mouth. And what Joanna's just said, she's got proof of that backing it up. So again, I think these are the areas we should be looking at now. And of course, as soon as we get total legality, then these are the areas that we can look into. Unfortunately, in England, I'm pretty much down to whatever we can find. I have to use, whatever we can get our hands on. We've got no quality control whatsoever, and that's nothing down to me. That's because we just don't have the facility. Huh?
So, Steve,
that's the same all over the world. I tried to tell my mom I wanted to be completely homeopathic, and she said, "Honey, don't hate gay people."
All right, you guys. On that, we do need to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and I will remember that too, Steve. Please do give us a donation at our website at timeforhemp.com, and I'll come back and talk about that a little bit after the next break. We'll be right back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour.
Talk amongst ourselves?
Yeah, sure.
Only amongst ourselves.
That's good information, because unfortunately,
we can dance amongst ourselves as well.
You are.
That's a boogie, baby. Boogie on down. It's 8 a.m. in the morning in England town, and it hasn't stopped raining for 3 weeks, and we've lost 3 counties underwater.
Oh, I saw that on the news.
Man, we've gone. They've lost 3 counties. They're not admitting it, but I've got friends down there. They're underwater. More storms coming in, and now Dorset, Somerset, Devon, and Cornwall are pretty much the new Great Lake of England.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, Mum. Yeah.
So the Canadians over here have decided to really piss off the Russians for the Olympics. So Budweiser took the red light for the goals and the hockey, and they made a blimp out of it. And at 3:30 Russian consulate in Ottawa. I think that's awesome.
Wow.
Wow. Sorry, while we're on the break, can I just get back to the CBD thing?
Well, I just want to say one thing while we're on the break, because I'll also, I want to make sure that we save some of our conversation for the show. There's one thing that I'd like to do with the structure of the show, since there's a lot of us. I mean, there's all of us kind of have a story. I'd like to with this show have each person kind of give their story, even though like you, Steve, and Ronnie may have already told this on the show before. Again, it doesn't really matter, because if somebody could download this at any point in time. There's no order to how the shows play out. So I'd like to get each one of you to let us know how you got your cancer, how you treated it, and how you are today. Like testimony is what I'm looking for. And then to, also like unleash on this topic is anywhere that we want to go with it.
Well, let's go with Joanna first, because she's ladies first. How do you feel, Ronald, about that?
Okay, my name is Joanna.
Oh, well, not yet, because we're not in the air yet.
Oh, okay.
So we're on a commercial break, but
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, we're just on a commercial break right now. But you know what? Here's but here's
I'm ready to go.
I know. I'm like, hold on, wait. I also Ustream us. I do a behind the scenes broadcast. So you can actually, people can listen to our conversation now behind the break too as well. So I like to because a lot of stuff happens off camera, as well as on camera. But whatever's going on the Time for Hemp Network they only hear what we're going to see on the air, which Casper will give us the heads up when we're getting ready to go back on.
Okay.
Be glad my camera ain't on.
Well, my camera's on, but I can't see anybody else. I put my video up. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably look at each other on the video during the break, but actually during the actual broadcast, it takes away from the quality of the voice part, so the bandwidth on the voice. So when we go back onto the air, we just want to make sure that we turn our videos up so we get maximum volume for the show on the network.
So what do I have to do to do that?
You just
little camera
yeah,
icon.
yeah,
like
you
a
just
little
click
red
that on.
slash.
I
And
don't have a camera icon. I've only got a mic and a plus and a hang up.
you
You're on like a pad.
No, I'm on Windows 8.
And I've got
Windows 8 sucks ass.
to come back.
you might need
Well, we can't see
I'm sorry.
so-
What'd you say? What'd you say, Casper?
Okay, so then we're just on a voice call.
That site again.
You sent a voice call.
We're getting ready to go on.
Yeah, we're coming back. We're coming back.
I got a free little song, Carrie, if you want me to play it.
Oh, cool. Let's play it.
You can introduce me to introduce it.
Okay. All right.
I'm ready in a flash. The perfect combination of cheese, toasts, and chutney.
Welcome. Well, that sounded really good. A perfect combination of cheese toast and chutney. I've got the munchies right now. Welcome back to Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and thank you for tuning in. And also, just want to let you know, please do give us a donation. We are at this point listener supported as well as client supported, because we are just coming together and we're up and running. And so please go to our website at timeforhemp.com, and we already thank you for doing it because we know that you're going to. So, because we're psychic. And right now, our board op tonight is the founder of Time for Hemp, Casper Leach. Thank you for being here at the show, Casper.
You are welcome, and it is Valentine's. And Valentine's, there are so many people in love. And you know what a tender spirit I am, how emotional, and what a warm, big, fuzzy love bunny I am, right?
Yes.
So, being such a sentimental fool like I am, I found a song by Coco Taylor. Have you ever heard of her?
I haven't heard of Coco Taylor.
She's a sweetie, and she put together this song called Your Husband.
No! Tara's got a big bong.
What?
It's called Your Husband is Cheating on Us.
Oh, wow.
Come on, take the dance floor. Oh, hey.
If you had video, you could see the little vaporizer lighting up every time I have a show.
We're actually on the air, Joanne. That's so funny. Joanne is vaporizing. We're all token tonight. And so what happened? What happened? You could see your little light. Where?
I get a little purple light and it shines on the screen of my computer when I vaporize.
So we are here with Joanne Crowther and Steve Danks and Ronnie Smith and Casper Leach. And, the three of you, Steve and Ronnie and Joanne, you all have your own story of how cannabis has saved your life. And I just want to get a bit of testimony from each one of you. I feel that our listeners would be interested to know, what happened and what kind of treatment you did and where are you at now with it. So, Joanne, when did you discover that you had cancer?
In 2009, I got sick. Couldn't figure out what was wrong, but I started throwing up. I was puking my guts out. I couldn't eat anything. Everything, I just started throwing up. So about 4 weeks after this, I was like, okay, I gotta go to the hospital. There's something really wrong. So I went to the hospital and they tested my blood and went, oh yeah, there's something really wrong. But they couldn't figure it out. 23 days, I had probably $1.5 million worth of tests. My bile went from about 1/4 inch to about 4 inches thick. They said, they kept telling me all through, you don't have cancer, you don't have cancer, you don't have cancer, you don't have cancer. And then they found that I had a rare form of lymphoma. I have large B intravascular lymphoma. This cancer doesn't normally have any signs, like you don't get any indication that you're sick. You just die.
Wow.
I got quite sick. I'm very sensitive. Thank you. I'm so happy about that now. So I went to the hospital and I did what they said. We went through all this stuff. I did 8 sessions of CHOP-R chemotherapy because I had it in my kidneys and I beat it. So about 3 months I was good and then it came back in my head. So I did 20 shots of radiation and I beat it again. I was doing great. I went back to work. I joined team in training. I raised $5,000 for cancer research. Silly me. I did a half marathon, and then it came back. I got a lump in my leg. Started out as the size of a golf ball. By the time they took it out, it was the size of a softball. Instead of a golf ball, it had grown. So they took that out and a big chunk of my leg muscle. And then they said, oh, it's in your blood, it's in your brain. And I couldn't have any more radiation. So when I initially got brain cancer, they told me that you can't have chemotherapy for brain cancer. Well, then they changed their minds and said, oh, no, we can give you this methotrexate. So they gave me methotrexate once. My liver almost shut down. My kidneys shut down.
Ugh.
So they tried it again. They got my kidneys getting working a little bit again. Okay, so they gave it to me again. Everything shut down. They washed their hands of me. Said, no, nothing we can do. Go home. You're not going to live 6 weeks.
Ugh.
That was in April of 2012. I came home and I started searching the net. I found phoenixcheers.ca. I found a friend who had a friend who had a membership at a Compassion Club, and he took me from Compassion Club to Compassion Club to Compassion Club. We found Phoenix Cheers oil. I started taking it. At the beginning, I was taking a rice-sized piece, like everybody told us to. But I went back to the Compassion Club and said, it's not working. It's not, like, I need better. What do I need to do? And the lady asked me what I was trying to fight, and I said, they sent me home to die. I want to live. And she said, oh, start doing a gram a day right away. So I started doing a gram a day right away. Within a week, I wanted to go out. And I hadn't been able to get off my couch, let alone go out of the house. Within 2 weeks, I was going out a couple times a week. Within 3 weeks, my family was like, okay, you're not even sick anymore. At 6 weeks, the BC Cancer Society said, holy shit, you're in remission. You're even still here. What the fuck? You're a miracle. And I kept saying, no, I'm not a miracle. I'm taking weed oil. It's Phoenix Cheers oil. It's the miracle.
Right on.
And they wouldn't put it in. They kept saying, no, it was a miracle. I fought with a bitch for a few times. So the next time I went back, I made her put it in my file that I was taking hemp oil putting me in remission. And I have it in my medical records, and they're online, all blacked out without my name and shit, but they're there. Proof. Medical proof that I cured my incurable cancer with Phoenix Tears oil. I will take it forever. My kidneys and liver were ruined by chemotherapy. My liver was less than 30%. They said you'll never ever get it repaired. It's at 100% now. My kidneys were one number away from dialysis. They said I was going to be in dialysis within the next, few weeks. There's no way they'll ever get better. They're just going to get worse. I am now 8 numbers away from dialysis. I'm still in mild renal failure, but they're getting better, and the doctor said they would never, ever get better. So it's proof. The oil works for so many things.
Hey, Joanne.
Yeah?
You know the word incurable. Do you know what it really means?
Incurable means that they don't know what to do with it.
No, it means curable from within.
Yes.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Incrucible.
I've never thought of it that way.
Neither have I, but I will from now on.
Me too.
Thank you.
Incrucible.
So that was my story.
That's your story is just, well, I mean, it's amazing. It just sounds, I don't know, I'm stunned almost, to
If you
hear.
look my name up, if you look Joanne Crowther up on YouTube, I made a video because I felt like I lived. I have to tell people about this. I can't just keep this to myself. So
you should be in the dictionary between incurable and incredible.
And I got on one morning and I sat down and I made a video and I said, my name is Joanne Crowther and I have an incurable cancer and I've cured myself with Phoenix Tears oil. And here's how you do it, and this is what you do, and everybody needs to know, and everybody needs to share this. I've gotten over, I think, 40,000 views, and I'm all over the internet now.
Amazing.
I didn't really know that I would get that big, but hey, I'm just Joe Q public, right? Like, I'm not a hippie. Sure, I smoked pot when I was young, but when I found this cure, when somebody said pot's going to cure my cancer, I laughed. But you know what? It worked. I'm not laughing anymore.
Right on.
Right
I'm
on.
telling everybody I can.
You're still here to laugh some
That's
more.
right. And now I'm laughing at the cancer clinic. Because every time they call me in there, and I go in every 3 months, I'm in the elevator telling everybody there, you gotta take hemp oil. It'll cure your cancer. Fuck these drugs. Fuck this radiation. Take this.
Fucking A.
Fucking A. And you know what? We have to go to a fucking commercial break. We'll be right back with more Holy.
I didn't mean to hog the show.
No, you're fine. I just have to, I love it. I'm just making a little segue. You're so wonderful. Thank you so much for telling your story here. And we'll be back with everybody else's story on how cannabis has cured their disease. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I started smoking again. I figure I shouldn't go off online.
That was awesome, Joanne. That's just so wonderful.
One.
What?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever watched my video and not cried.
Yeah.
Because my very first one, I'm crying. I was just like, and I'm alive, and I can't believe I'm still here.
I started crying watching the one where you're doing the video on the big screen. I started crying because you were tearing up, and I started crying watching that one.
Oh, is that the news?
No, it's the one where you're out in front of a big crowd somewhere, and there's
Yeah, that was I made oil with Rick Simpson on the at the steps of the Vancouver Art Gallery.
Nice.
We took 3 pounds of pot and made it into oil. It was awesome.
Wow.
The cops here, they don't care about pot. They got bigger problems.
Right? Everywhere they do.
Well, no. Apparently in Alberta, they're trying to pass a law so that even if the federal government makes it legal, it won't be legal in Alberta.
I mean, everywhere the cops
Stick
have
our head up our ass.
Right on.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I read that, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, they're going to end up with a state full of cancer people that like chemo and policemen then, aren't they? Because no self-respecting
Oh,
person
yeah.
is going to live
And
that.
they've got oil sands up there, so they're like poisoning themselves.
Yeah,
So let's go with Steve's story on the next one, right, Terry?
What?
Let's go with Steve's story next, okay?
Sure, that sounds good. Are you ready, Steve?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm fired up, ready to go. I mean, after that wonderful story, isn't it amazing that whenever you look at 3 cured people that should be dead on one show, and I tell you what, whenever you listen to folk like that, and I suppose I have to include myself in this, that they come from the heart. You can see it. I watched that video of that lady on that steps, man, before I even knew this, she was coming on out. It's just one of those most amazing videos of somebody literally pouring their heart out and going, look, listen to me. This is for real. Yeah, I don't want your money. I don't want anything. I just want to tell you, don't suffer this shite no more. Right, are you ready for this? Are we live?
No, not yet. Not quite yet.
Quite yet. Yeah.
Marijuana.
Marijuana Man, yeah, you gotta introduce that.
My ex-wife is still alive because of marijuana. No, I was toying with the idea of having her killed, and then I got high and decided to divorce her instead.
That makes me laugh every time.
I'll have to download Stonerville and a little bit. Is that by Chief Greenbud or is that by Rich Hardesty?
That would be by Roland A. Doobie.
Oh, Roland.
Gotta love that, Roland.
I'm trying to get it downloaded tonight. If not, I'll play it the next time you're on the show. How's that?
Right on.
And Terry, do you want me to play the song that I found?
Sure, that's fine.
All right. It's a classic. I mean, it's a real classic. It's not one anybody would ever consider a Valentine's song.
Good.
But it is a fun song to sing along. Everybody, when they hear it, they just can't help but sing the fuck along, and then it feels good when they get done. So I'll let you pass the baton to me when you're ready for me to introduce it.
Sure.
How's that?
Okay.
Laws passed by legislators have eroded this heritage. The government and our nation's banking system are slowly becoming this country's sole farm owners. So in order to turn the tide, the American farmer needs a successful cash crop. Now, hemp is a plant that's proven to be versatile in creating over 50,000 products, from cloth and paper to fuel and medicine. And when prohibition was leveled against liquor, it was still legal to grow corn and grapes for other purposes. Now, this should be true of hemp. Turn our roots to America and help re-legalize hemp.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. Time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
And we're back. Thank you for listening to Hollywood Hemptress Hour at this hour, whatever hour it might be. It's got to be some hour somewhere you're listening to this at a certain hour, and we really appreciate you for listening. We are on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio, and we are the only pro-cannabis network on iHeartRadio. And Casper Leach is with me tonight. He's running the board up. He is the founder of Time for Hemp. And we just want to say that please give us our support, your support, and give us a donation to keep us out there, keep our message out there. And we've got guests like Joanne Crowther telling her story about how, Phoenix of Tears, cannabis oil has cured her from her cancer. Not cured, but put her in remission for her cancer when she had a death sentence of not being here anymore. So she's here. And so
I love it.
give it, yay, and yes, and so Casper, did you pick out another song that you wanted to play?
We did it. There is a woman in everybody's life that we all love, and she's an old grand dame from the old days when marijuana in the scene. mode was coming up and all the jazz cats were singing. This woman owned their heart, and after all these years, anytime you hear anybody sing about this woman, you fall in love with her too. So is that all right if I play the song?
Absolutely.
This is to my woman in my life who I've not had a chance to kiss or hug, but God knows if I ever see her, I'm going to say, "Hey, Minnie, I love you, and I love the way you move, girlfriend."
The jazz cat, hidey ho. The jazz cat, hidey ho. He plays it cool and digs all night. That's the reason he stays alive. His motto, what? As he lives and learns, is dig. Oh, and be dug in return. So dig. Hidey ho, man, that's me. Hey! Hello, how you doing, New York? We're so happy you came out tonight. By the late great Cab Calloway. Come on,
Cat Calloway.
1, 2, 3, and now here's a story about Minnie.
Minnie the Moocher.
She was a low down hoochie coocher. She was a toughest frail, but Minnie had a heart as big as a whale. Hidey, hidey, ho, hidey, hidey, ho. Hidey, 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 hey. Hidey, 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 hey. Go away. Go away. She messed around with a blow named Smokey. She loved to know he was a cokehead. He took her down to Chinatown and showed her how to jiggle back, gong around. Hidey, hidey, ho, hidey, hidey, ho. Hidey, 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 hey. Hidey, 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 hey. Go away. Go away. Body, 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 body. Oh, Minnie Mac, oh, you low down. Well, he preached to her. You ought to slow down. But Minnie wiggles her jelly roll. Lord, save my soul. Hidey, hidey. Hidey, 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 hey. Whoa, hey. Whoa, hey. Body, 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 body. They put poor Minnie where they put the grace. Now Minnie's just kicking up daisies. You've heard this story, now this ends with my song. Oh, she was a good gal, but they done her wrong. Hidey, hidey, ho. Hidey, hidey, hey. Hidey, hidey, hey. Whoa, 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 hey. Body, 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 body. Hidey, hidey, ho. Hidey, hidey, ho. Hidey, 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 hey. Hidey, hidey, hey. Whoa, hey. Body, body, body.
Wow, that song is just amazing. I mean, that is just, I mean, I I wish I was there in the day to see that one live. That must have been just like the energy from that song must have been just incredible to experience if it was being done live. God.
Well, it's proof that there really is no time because that song is timeless.
It is. It is. It is a timeless song. I felt that one. Thank you for playing that, Casper.
It was by the Three Mo Tenors. You can find that online. They're an awesome three-man group. They had a. Remember there was this thing on PBS where the tenors got together and Pavarotti and two others. Well, these three black gentlemen got together about 2 years later and went on the road doing music like that.
Yeah.
So happy Valentine's Day from all of us here to Vinny the Butcher with love on the Time for Him global broadcast.
And he could dance as well, couldn't he? He could move his feet. He could indeed.
Well, you
Are
know,
we on the air?
Yeah, we are on the air. We are. We're on the air. We're on the air. We're just, yeah, we're definitely on the air. And you know what?
I'm sitting here reading the chat part.
Oh, really? I mean, if you're reading the chat part, where's that at? What chat are you in that I'm not in? But where's the chat? Where's the
You
chat?
said I'm a brunette under this blonde.
Oh, I see. Oh, that chat.
That chat.
I thought there was some. I always thought there was some other chat I wasn't privy of. Okay.
Did you hear about the two blondes who thought they found deer tracks?
No.
Oh, they were down on their knees examining the tracks, and the train hit them.
Oh, they're so stupid. They should have been looking the other way.
So, you know, we're almost out of time. I want to get into Steve's story about, you know, how cannabis healed him, but we only have really a couple minutes before we actually go to break again. So, you know, we've been having so much fun dancing around and having a good time that, you know, which is cool too. I mean,
I can get down to 2 minutes if you like.
no, you know what? I want to bring you back. We have a whole nother hour to talk, so I'm not worried. There is something that I do want to mention out there. A little article I got pulled up here before we do go to break. This is an article that was posted in my email from Dejay Kuti, who has been on the show. She is the president of the Patient Advocacy Network, which protects patients' rights down in California. And, you know, California was the first state to legalize medical marijuana, and it's kind of been ground zero. A lot of dispensaries have had a hard time keeping open and, you know, not being rated. And, you know, there's just so much that's been going on out there. But there is an initiative. Few initiatives are trying to get on the ballot to legalize it recreationally. And it's been the Jack Hare initiative, which they're still finalizing their signatures. And there's also the MCLRS. And there's an article about it. There's been some delay in actually making it happen. And it says that millions of weed aficionados will likely face the consequences of ongoing prohibition of marijuana in California through at least 2016. There are just 66 days left to turn the 800,000 signatures necessary for a legislation petition to qualify for the November 4th ballot. And collecting those signatures requires several $1 million that no group has been willing to commit this year. The four groups proposing pot legalization in 2014 woefully lag behind deadlines suggested by the state for ensuring a successful initiative. The groups are also at each other's throats over the dirty details of full legalization. This infighting, coupled with California's soft 56% support for ending the weed war, appears to be scaring away big donors needed to legalize marijuana this fall. Look to history as a guide. Since California created the ballot initiative process in 1911, just 7% of all ballot measures circled for signatures have passed, and batting way below that average of 0.70 is weed legalization. Reform groups have floated about 40 weed measures since the 70s, and only one has passed, Proposition 215 in 1996. That's because it's laughably easy to circulate an initiative petition, but extremely difficult to gather enough valid signatures to make the ballot and then garner a 50% plus one majority on election day. And the article seems to go on and on about the pitfalls of what might or might not be happening. I'm just going to wrap it up here, where it says behind the DPA is a San Jose-based group calling itself the MCLR. The group began collecting signatures at the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup in San Bernardino on Saturday. MCLR co-founder Hodges agrees the 2014 drive is coming down to the last minute. But he said that Prop 19 got 500,000 signatures in 3 weeks. The only long shot is the money, he said. The MCLR is looking for cash donations to help for collecting signatures, and we have very little coming in. Behind the MCLR group is a group based out of Sacramento calling itself CCHI. Anyways, the MCLR. I've been telling some of the people lately that that's the campaign that I might actually get behind. Even though it does seem like we're having a late start. I think that with the popularity of what we've been seeing happening in Colorado, making a lot of money, and what's been very positive to recreational legalization in Washington, and some of the other states, also New Hampshire, wanting to pass it in the Senate. To allow, legalization for recreational use, that we're beginning to do a turn, and if they did really push on this campaign, they may actually really make it. And I did get a report from DeJay at the Patient Advocacy Network that I'm going to get the word that I think everything's going to be a go. So I just wanted to,
yeah, we should just put a shout out to all the growers out there. Maybe you should give some money that you made to support this so you can get recreational weed so you can grow again.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. I agree. So I am. We're giving you a shout out, you growers out there, and make it so we can do it recreationally.
You want to hear another psychic prediction?
What's that, Ronnie?
I say that if the petitions don't get enough signatures and get on the ballot, the state of California will do it themselves. They'll put it on the ballot themselves.
Kind of like Oregon's doing now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm going to say something to the growers and the dispensary owners too.
Okay.
Today, the Justice Department announced that the banking systems now can start doing banking with growers and dispensaries who are doing legal businesses. I guess up until now, everything that they've done business-wise, every transaction, all the money's had to be kept on the property so it wasn't safe. And they've had grocery bags full of money behind their counter and in their safes. Now, here's the deal, guys. You got grocery bags full of money, and you can't find someplace legal to put it. Go get yourself a money order at the post office and mail it to Time for Hemp, bitches, and donate. Hello?
Hey, do you know what this means? Do you know what it means that the banks are doing this? This means that the federal government is getting ready to legalize it federally.
Right.
Because they wouldn't do it if they weren't.
Yeah.
They're going to get their hands in it, and they want taxes from it. They're going to legalize it
Yeah.
federally. You watch.
It's just going to be interesting how we end up controlling it, and whether or not it's going to be able to stay in its pure form. I feel is what I'm concerned about at this point. But you guys, we do need to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour. So stay tuned.
So on that topic, we should mention, what about all the people that are in jail for life for marijuana? 3 strikes, you're out in the U.S.
They're being turned out now.
So if they're gonna make it legal federally, are they gonna let them all out?
They'll have to.
They're going to let them all out. They started doing that about 2 weeks ago. The Justice
All of them?
came out and said that they could no longer afford to house all these non-violent criminals, that it's pointless because it's ruining their records for nothing. And a committee got together and said they were going to start letting them out. And then that very night, Holder came out and said, we're going to let the crackheads out first because we got to get them out now. This is stupid. They're non-violent criminals. They need to get back to society and start working and paying taxes.
Yeah.
just reversed all of their cannabis laws, and they're putting all of their cannabis prisoners out on the street.
Right, can I come in on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, right. There's an interesting fact here about this Italian thing, okay? Now, you're talking to somebody that's spent a lot of time in an Italian jail for drug offences due to the DEA, okay? Now, when an amnesty like that gets invoked in Italy, it has to have a signature from the Pope, okay?
Oh, good luck with that.
Oh, no, he's done it.
Oh, yeah.
Sign that, they've started to let them out, which means there is a piece of paper floating around in Italy somewhere, which means it's got the Pope's signature on it. Because it's an amnesty.
Did say use the green plant.
Right. So that means now that really the church has authorised cannabis, which they should do because it's in their good book. Obviously, it's written on hemp paper, and they have some recipes in there and all sorts of things pertaining to hemp or cannabis. So I did
Now Catholics
ask him about this. He never answered. But I do know for a fact that before those prisoners could be released, no matter what the government said, they had to get a signature because it's close to Rome. They had to have a signature from the Pope, otherwise it wouldn't have taken place. So now the church is coming on board. Now, for whatever the church is, it's got an awful lot of members.
I was getting ready to say, Peter Chris is right. He's been saying he's the founder of elite law enforcement against prohibition. Basically, the luxury item. And the states are realizing, one, is costing way too much money now to be housing all these criminals, especially now that they're getting old and getting a lot of medical problems. And two, as long as they're doing that, they can't be paying to have the streets clean to give the mayor a raise. But, by golly, if they legalize this shit, they're going to have all that fucking tax money in their pockets. And things are going to start rolling again. And they're just like, oh, fuck yeah. The lights come on. They follow the money. They don't follow their hearts. They don't follow their minds.
So here's another prediction then. Marijuana makes people really creative, and we invent our own pipes, and we do all kinds of really cool stuff. So people are going to start making stuff in America again, and people will be proud to say, made in America, while stoned.
No, and especially with the help of 3D printers now, they'll be able to create their own prototypes of what they actually want to invent, and then take it to somebody instead of having to find somebody to take what's in their mind and help create it. So
It's a whole new twist to that movie, The Secret. If you can think it, you can create it.
Exactly. It's going to be an awesome future once we start getting this shit turned around.
And can I just butt in there, Ronnie, as well? Of course, when you speak about America, this is obviously global. Whatever. No, this will bring back local communities. We can go local and think global. Act local, think global. Yeah.
There is no other country but America. I don't know what the fuck you're
talking about. Well, there you go then.
Well, where am I?
I don't know.
You're in North America, Joan.
Yeah, you're in an annex of the United States.
No. Canada's separate. We don't want nothing to do with it. We're nice. We're friendly, eh?
I found another Terry, I found another groovy song.
Who's there?
You found a groovy song?
Yeah, I found a song by Steve Martin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You can play when we come back if you want to. Like I said, pass the baton whenever I'm ready. I said, well, Steve Martin did it. I think he like.
Okay.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
All right, and we're back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network. And, we are the only pro-cannabis network on iHeartRadio, and we're really proud of that. So thank you for listening to us. Tonight, Casper Leach, the founder of Time for Hemp, is doing the board op. And so, Casper, you have another song to play for us. What is it?
because it's Valentine's, I look deep into my heart for moments of love and songs that I sit down and I think about, and ponder over, and wipe tears from like Minnie the Moocher, and your husband's cheating on us. I mean, it just touches me. And Steve Martin pointed out a while back that, first of all, atheists really have a rough way to go. The people give them, a lot of gunk for not believing in holidays and believing in this and that. And they don't have their own holiday, and they don't have their own clothes. Like priests have this, and they got garb from ministers, and they don't have their own music. And Valentine's Day could be a holiday that atheists celebrate, maybe, because they got no holiday. And like Steve Martin points out with his band of singers, atheists got no song either.
Religious people have such beautiful music and art, and atheists really have nothing. Until now. Little tune called Atheists Don't Have No Songs. Christians have their hymns and pages, Hava Megillas for the Jews, Baptists have the Rock of Ages, atheists just sing the blues, romantics play Claire de Lune, born again sing He is risen, but no one ever wrote a tune for godless existentialism. For atheists, there's no good news. They'll never sing a song of faith. In their songs, they have a rule. The He is always lowercase. The He is always lowercase. Some folks sing a Bach cantata. Lutherans get Christmas trees. Atheist songs add up to nada. But they do have Sundays free. Pentecostals sing to heaven. Coptics head the book of scrolls. Numerologists count to seven. Atheists have rock and roll. For atheists, there's no good news. They'll never sing a song of faith. In their songs, they have a rule. The He is always lowercase. The He is always lowercase. Atheists don't have no song. Christians have their hymns and pages. Hava Megillas for the Jews. Baptists have the Rock of Ages. Atheists just sing the blues. Catholics dress up for Mass and listen to Gregorian chants. Atheists just take a pass, watch football in their underpants. Atheists don't have no songs.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you for playing that. Yeah. Thank you for playing that, Casper. And it is kind of the post Valentine's Day right now. We're coming off the buzz of the height of Valentine's Day 2014. And tonight, the theme is basically mainly people who have cured their disease, life-threatening diseases, by using cannabis. And Joanne Crowther just told us her story, of the of what medical, the American Medical Association, or Western medicine, wants to claim as a miracle for her, and she is positive that it is not a miracle, but it is cannabis, and this is possible for everyone. Right?
Yeah, she's pot positive.
She's pot positive.
Cannabis cured.
Cannabis
Yes,
cured.
Cannabis cured.
And so I'd like to also go to Steve Dank's story and the organization and the charity that you started as well, so our listeners can find out about that.
Excellent. Shall I go? Right, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sort of like 56 years of age. Been involved in hemp since about 94, 95 with growing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, when I was in my 20s, I had a motorcycle accident, which I had to have a blood transfusion. And back then, they never used to test the blood, and they were buying it on the open market. I had a transfusion. But 10 years later, hepatitis C sort of raised its head inside of my body. There was no real medicine on the market for Hep C at the time, and I felt fine. I had a young family, pretty good job, blah, blah, blah. And basically the doctor said to me, I said, well, what's the coup then? He said, well, the chances are with Hep C, later on in life, you're going to get cirrhosis of the liver and die. Okay, that's fine. What's the prognosis in that? He said, well, anywhere between the next 10 to 20 years. So I said, what have you got? He said, we've got a new drug called interferon. He said, you inject yourself with that a few times a day. I'm an ex-nurse. Once he told me the side effects, I said, Dad, I'm a guinea pig, aren't I? He said, yeah. I said, no thanks. I'll deal with this later on down the line. Well, unfortunately, down the line came, and a few years back, I think it was 2010, I got pretty ill. I got sicker and sicker, and I couldn't go to work, and I just sort of put it down to working 18 hours a day and not earning much money because I was in the hemp industry. And I just find it a struggle. And then one day I woke up and I said, oh, I don't feel very well. And the next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom. I know you, Terry, have seen the pictures of something I threw up in the bath. I think Casper has too. It was pretty awesome. I just fucking threw up, man, like nearly 3 kilo of bloody blood and guts and everything. And I thought, I'm in trouble here. And what was the most frightening thing is as it was coming up, one, it was quite shocking to see my insides coming up. Two, I couldn't actually breathe. There was so much of it, I couldn't get my breath. So anyway, we took some photographs of it. The ambulance drivers came in, took one look at it, and took one look at me and went, you're still alive? We better get you up the hospital quick. Got me up the hospital, and of course it was the Hep C. My viral overload had gone completely off the road. I was in millions, man. I was all over the place. So they got me out of that little thing. I sat down for really about 6 months and decided what I was going to do. I paid lip service to sort of going raw, and I took a bit of cannabis, not a lot, yeah. And I decided to go for this interferon treatment, more for me. So I had a year on this interferon, of taking the injection once a week and topping it up with another drug called ribavirin, which has now been taken off the market because it is so dangerous for liver problems. Anyway, I managed the interferon. I can only say it was a journey into hell. Lost my hair, my teeth, my nails, bled all over. My blood was totally infectious. Hepatitis C lives in dry blood for up to 90 days, so that makes you a bit of a leper. I slept a lot. I lost a lot of weight, all the usual. Yeah, and I just felt pretty shocking. And at one point, towards the end of the therapy, I actually died. Blood counts had gone so low. I was rushed into hospital, tubed up, taped up, and my sister was there, and they said, she's a nurse up at the local hospital too, and they said, he ain't gonna make the next 48 hours, baby. So I basically said my goodbyes, and I laid there and I waited for God to come and get me, or the angels to come and get me. I was quite looking forward to it, actually. You know, I felt so bloody horrible that it was thinking, oh well, it hadn't been such a bad life, you know, been up the mountains, smoked a bit of pot, made some kids, done some stuff. Yeah, it wasn't a bad life. But here we go, you know, anything's better than living like this, shitting in a bag and pissing in your fucking nappy. And anyway, I managed to get through that, don't know how, and got out of that. And then you have to wait 3 months to find out whether the interferon has worked or not. So you sit there for 3 months, and I got back up to the hospital, and they gave me the test, and they said, well, you've cleared the hep. Woo, that's pretty cool. I mean, I still felt really, really awful, yeah, but then it was a double whammy, because as he gave me that news, he said, well, the other news is your liver has now gone into a state of cirrhosis, and there's so much damage in there, it's gone past the point of no return. So I walked out of the hospital that day with sort of like the double sword of Damocles, really, yeah. One, I'd cured the hep C, but now I had cancer. But then I thought, because I hadn't really seen a lot of information on cannabis cures and the hep C thing, yeah, but I knew that the good information from Rick and stuff, cancer was doable, yeah. So I got myself involved in some pretty heavy cannabis taking. I took myself out to India, yeah, and done some Ayurvedic medicine and took my cannabis every day and done some yoga and lived in the sun and went swimming. And my God, I was there with a friend actually, and after about 4 weeks one day, she was on the balcony, she just come out and she burst out crying. I said, whatever is the matter, because during this period where I used to suffer from a lot of brain fog and do sort of like, say some things that I didn't mean, or just shit really, yeah. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done, what have I said, oh dear, put my foot in it again. I said, where does the man go? I said, nothing, Steve. She said, we're just looking at you. She said, you've just come alive. And she stood there crying. She just couldn't believe her eyes of me just seeing me how I used to be, even better than I used to be. And it was fantastic. And anyway, I got back home. I spent 3 months out there, got back home when I got the tests. And they done the scans and they done the bloods. The bloods are always still a bit up and down, but you get past those. And the doctor said to me, he said, well, he said, you're clear. I said, what do you mean I'm clear? He said, well, yeah. He said, well, you're clear. I said, well, all right, let's step back a little bit on this. I said, so I had hepatitis C. He said, yeah. I said, and that's gone. He said, yeah. I said, I had four major scars inside of my liver that had to be banded to stop them bleeding. He said, yeah. I said, what about them? He said, well, out of the 4, and this really got a very strange look on his face. He said, we can only find about half of one. So I said, what, you're telling me that internal scarring has disappeared? He went, yeah. I said, so where'd it gone? He said, don't know. Now, being a sort of nurse and having scars from motorcycle industries, accidents and things, scars don't really disappear. So how they cannot find these massive great scars inside of my liver is sort of like, it was a bit puzzling. And I must admit, when I had the scan, the guy that was doing the scan, I was in there for ages, I had loads of these things, and he was very puzzled, and he kept pressing harder, and he checked the machine, and I know now that he was actually looking for these scars, and he couldn't find them, so he's obviously thinking his machine had gone wrong. So they'd gone, and the liver had started, it stopped the cirrhosis, which is the cancer, and also again, with cirrhosis of the liver, at that end stage, the maximum is about 5 years, that's it. Yeah, and it's a pretty downhill slope for those 5 years. You know, you don't really pick up. So there I'm standing in his office with a man that had hepatitis C, was on his deathbed, and 6 months later I'm sort of standing there and I haven't got hepatitis C. And also my liver is starting to repair itself, and the scarring has gone, and my blood counts are all going up. And I said to him, I said, well, what's caused that then? He said, it's what we call in the medical industry, he said, it's a miracle cure. I said, well, that's interesting. I said, well, you put down on my report that miracle cure is down to THC, mate. That's down to cannabis. So he said, well, I can't really put that on your medical report. He said, all I can put is that you're a cannabis abuser. I said, I do, put that down. I said, because this miracle cure stuff, I said, don't really work for me. I said, I'm glad I've got it. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, look, I said, you're a Muslim. He said, yeah. I said, well, I'm basically a Christian. I said, so who's God actually cure me? Is your Muslim God, or my Christian God, or my pot God? He just laughed. And he actually did put on my medical report that I'm a cannabis user, and as far as I know, that's the first time in England they've ever done that. So There we go. And I'm just coming up. The 14th of February is actually a really important date for me, not because I'm celebrating Valentine's Day or anything like that. 14th of February was this time last year when I flew back from India, really quite cured. So this is my sort of second year of being hepatitis and cancer free. And I must say, I'm still work in progress, yeah. I feel bloody fantastic. I really do, yeah. And apparently, I look
Awesome.
quite too.
That's an awesome story.
That's awesome, and it's awesome that you are celebrating it with us tonight.
Yeah.
It makes it even
Yeah.
more special. So,
this is my second year now coming back to planet Earth, and what I've done in the last 6 months, and I'll just come on to that, because I love hemp anyway. Hemp is what really excites me, agricultural hemp. Medical cannabis, unfortunately, you might all throw stones at me. It sort of bores me in a little bit because, one, the science of it is well above my intelligence level, and two, basically, look, you take the stuff, you get cured, and that's it really, isn't it? Agricultural hemp, I love it because you make things and grow it and do loads of repair work, and there's always something else to do with it. Medical cannabis is great, it works, what's all the big deal about?
you know what, Steve? I hate to interrupt right now for just a moment, and I'm totally, I even hate to do this, but we do have to take a commercial break.
Donate.
And yes, and please do donate to us at the Time for Hemp Network at timeforhemp.com. Strange noises going on in here.
I farted.
It's fun for me, Terry. I've got you on my other computer on the Ustream.
Okay.
And the video of you. So there's that real-time letter stuff going on. I'm hearing you, and then you're moving around, which is quite odd. It's about at least a 10-second delay, I would have thought.
Okay, I have Tainted Love on hand. It was.
Oh, great! Yeah, play that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let that sounds great.
Is it the Mark Allman version? Hello, everything's froze.
We're not sure which version it is. All we know is Tainted Love.
Tainted Love. Any version will do.
I found Tainted Love. I can play it when we come back anytime you want to pass the baton back to me, Terry.
Oh sure, I'll do that. Yeah.
I was listening earlier today, Casper, to the Steve Bloom show, and I heard you say something about something or another puts a taint on the marijuana movement. I was like, wow, I wonder what that means.
I tain't understand it.
That don't sound like.
I had tainted blood. My blood was tainted with hepatitis.
I tain't got no money. Sorry.
I'm not the only one who knows what a taint is, right?
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tainted isn't so. I'm sorry.
Roland?
Go ahead.
And didn't I do a good job on calling out the people who ain't rolling up their sleeves and helping?
Oh, it was wonderful. I really enjoyed the shit out of it. I've been listening to Debbie Goldsberry's old shows too.
Cool. Have you ever heard of Straight No Chaser?
No.
No.
I had one once. It got me drunk.
Straight No Chaser is a group out of Indiana. They came together by accident at Purdue University, and they did like 12 concerts, and that was it. And somebody recorded the concerts and put them up on YouTube, and a music producer for their YouTube videos about 8 years after they had graduated from Purdue. Wow. All the guys that were in this little group called Straight No Chaser, brought them all back together and produced a Christmas album for them that ended up being a PBS special and a big time hit, sent them on a tour, and now they occasionally do new songs or new renditions of songs. So this will be done by Straight No Chaser when you hear it.
Okay.
I try to play something different if I'm going to play it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Right. And this is their version of Tainted Love?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So if you can describe that, I mean, you give the background to it, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give it the background on it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think their story's amazing. You know, they just are having fun at the university, just did a few concerts, that didn't think anything about it. You know, 8 years later, some guys on the phone, hey, I saw you on YouTube. You want to get together with other guys and like do an album? Like, what?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we be coming back then.
All right.
Hemp is a plant that's proven to be versatile in creating over 50,000 products, from cloth and paper to fuel and medicine. And when prohibition was leveled against liquor, it was still legal to grow corn and grapes for other purposes. Now, this should be true of hemp. Return our roots to America and help re-legalize hemp.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. Time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
We are back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network. Thank you for staying in tune or being in tune with us. I don't know if you're in tune or out of tune or if we're all in tune, but you know, I like the tune that's going to come up here pretty soon, which is going to be really cool. And Casper Leach has another song to share with us in the theme of Valentine's Day. So Casper, which song is this one?
This one was requested by Roland Day Doobie Rolling on the river, and if I'm gonna play a song, you know, I try to find a different version of it than what everybody's heard. I mean, make it more interesting, especially on this network. And there was this group out of Purdue University that came together many moons ago. They a group of guys. They had fun singing together. They did about 8 or 9 concerts. A few of the students videotaped the concerts. And then after the guys graduated a few years later, YouTube became a sensation, and some of the people who had these videotapes put them up. And a record producer saw some of these videotapes online and went, oh my God, this is great. And tracked down all the guys and brought them all back together, you know, many moons after they graduated. A lot forgot about this. And said, do you want to do an album? So they said, sure, let's give it a shot. They did a Christmas album, and it went right through the roof, made them a buttload of money. They went on tour all around the world, became even more famous than they ever imagined they ever would be. And then they put out a few more albums, and people loved them. And the name of the group is called Straight No Chaser. And because Valentine's Day is a day of love, I know Roland A. Doobie wanted to express his sentimental side by being, of course, everybody's favorite. Tainted Love, here by Straight No Chaser on Time for Hemp.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere, and I've lost my life. For I toss and turn, I can't sleep at night. Once I ran to you, now I'll run from you. This tainted love you give it, I give you all the boy can give you. Take my tears and that's not really all. Tainted love. Now I know I've got to run away. I've got to get away. You don't really want anymore from me. To make things right, you need someone to hold you tight, and you think love is to pray, but I'm sorry I don't pray that way. Once I ran to you, now I'll run from you. This tainted love you've given, I'll give you all the boy could give you. Take my tears and that's not really all. Tainted love, oh tainted love, don't touch me please. Don't touch me please. I cannot stand the way you tease. Can't stand the way you tease. Don't touch me please. Don't touch me please. I cannot stand the way you tease.
my God, that was just so great. That is like one of the best versions of Tainted Love. And I think, Roland, you mentioned something. You said no instruments. Does it sound like it's a cappella with percussion, right?
It is. You're correct.
Wow.
I knew I didn't want to give that away before the song. You would have been, what? I wanted to surprise you, but that's what made them even so unique. That's what completely produced their fame.
That was totally awesome.
Make noise with their own little mouth.
Wow, that's incredible. That was
and their hands.
Yeah.
Mind you, a fabulous song.
There wasn't a bass in the back, like one of the, the ones that you pick, not the electric one.
I don't think so. You'll have to go back. You'll have to go check out their little videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to go back.
Maybe one of the guys was making a bass nose with his noise, and if so, that would be a bass that you pick.
Yeah.
But anyway, Roland Doobie, I sure hope you appreciated that version of Tainted Love.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for playing it. And before the break, we were talking to Steve Danks about how cannabis healed him, and that you're still in the process of healing even now today. Now, what you also created a charity that with this, and it's just barely getting started. But can we hear a little bit about that?
Sure can, but I've just had a message from Jason as well. He wanted to know the dosages. I'll email him back. I'll quickly, briefly on air. I've done 3 months in India, taking basically the whole plant in, just drying it down in with some Ayurvedic medicine. That I was taking quite a lot of, most probably about at least, if the truth is known, about an ounce a day of prime good Indian fresh bud. But when I got back to England, I really went on the oil, and that I went to about 4 milligrams a day, a milligram, 4 times a day, really sort of flooding my bloodstream with it. Now I take a homeopathic dose once or twice a day. Normally now I just do one before bedtime. I find that really is good. But I think you just need it, full stop, regardless of whatever's wrong or not wrong. Yeah, you just need it.
Steve, was that question from Jason America?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Jason. Jason, I when you said Jason on the chat, Jason America has just finished co-hosting the last couple of weeks, and he's so supportive that he's here with us right now on the Ustream. That's so cool.
Thanks, Jason.
Hi, we're all saying hi.
Hi, Jason.
Okay, that is what you did there, Steve. Was actually the protocol that Rick Simpson developed, wherein the key to killing cancer in your body with marijuana is to take as much THC as possible, and the goal is to get up to a gram a day. And if you can start off with a gram a day, you're doing good, like Joanne did.
Yeah.
And you just take a gram a day and you saturate your blood with THC.
Yeah.
And the fact is that cancer cannot live in the presence of THC because it can't get any nutrients from the blood. And then
we all have an endocannabinoid system, and when we feed it cannabinoids, cancer goes away. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, the cancer causes the THC causes cancer to starve, and the cancer will start to eat itself to death. This is called autophagy, the process of cancer cells eating themselves away. And if you keep your bloodstream saturated with THC for 45 to 50 days, eating a gram a day, cancer is not going to be able to survive that, and it'll eat itself away completely. And then all you need is a gram a day, like a vitamin cannabis once a day.
You know it. You know it. This seems to be certainly the way forward. I wholeheartedly agree with what you just said, and that's what I prescribe now to people. You get as much of it inside of you as can. You got bad cancer. You get this stuff in you. Yeah. Because you can't.
I say the same thing. And I normally tell people to take it at night because everybody talks about getting stoned. But I never got stoned because I was taking 36 milligrams of morphine twice a day. I could have been hit by a Mack truck. I wouldn't have felt it.
You know it.
Well, it's like my idol Jack Hare says.
A day. 19 pills a day.
Whew.
On none. Now.
Jack Hare always said in all of his speeches, and you can see his very last speech that he gave on YouTube if you search Jack Hare's final speech. You can see him say this before he died of a heart attack. He said, "You have to have cannabis in your life morning, noon, and night if you want to have a long life." And if Jack did not have that stuff in his life, morning, noon, and night, he would have died 25, 30 years ago.
I don't think that's public knowledge, you know, because I've often wondered why Jack actually died. I think you should really, you shouldn't do anything, you do what you do. But it'd be interesting to see. I've heard a lot of, I've had that thrown at me a few times. Well, if cannabis is so good, how did Jack Array die? How did he die? Why did he die from cancer? And I've not been able to give an answer, which I would like to know that.
Jack was really, really fat and ate a lot of bad food and had a heart attack, and he had to have open heart surgery and had four-way open heart surgery, I believe. And if it wasn't for marijuana, he would have died back then. I think the cannabis probably kept him alive. And then after that, he still ate like crap and ended up having a stroke. And the cannabis was bringing him back from the stroke. He was able to talk again and sing and do everything he used to do because of cannabis. His face was coming back and being normal again. But he still wouldn't change his diet. So then in 2009, he had another heart attack, and this one put him into a coma where he died months later.
Oh, Jack, we miss you so much, and people begin just now to really begin to find out who Jack was.
When I read Jack's office in 91, 92, 93, Jack was having angioplasty back then.
Right.
And we thought we were going to lose him a couple times, and I know Brenda, we were all sitting on pins and needles thinking that there was going to be a moment when he was on tour and he might not come back, so it really did.
Casper, I don't know if you know this or not, but during those years, I was the guy doing the computer work for Cannabis Action Network in Kentucky.
Oh, were you for Debbie Goldsberry, the girls at Masscan?
Uh-huh, yeah.
That's wild.
It's a small world, isn't it?
It is a small world, and I'm just enjoying to hear the connection between everyone. But we need right now to connect to our advertisers, and we're going to take a commercial break. Please do at the commercial break. If you don't feel like listening to an advertisement, then just go ahead to our website and give us a donation at www. Who does the WW anymore? Timeforhemp.com. And that's the letter 4, okay? I mean the number 4, not the letter 4. There is no letter 4. Anyway, we'll be right back in just a moment.
And can I close this segment on a few words?
Sure.
Jack here?
Yeah.
It grows the biggest and the best and the fastest in the most soil and climate conditions and latitudes. It's the healthiest plant on the planet Earth. In fact, it's greater as paper, fiber, fuel, medicine, food, than virtually any other plant on Earth. If you take out medicine, it's greater than all the other plants on Earth combined. This one plant, the plant against the law, hemp, is greater than all the other plants on Earth combined. You couldn't make as much paper, or better paper, or cheaper paper chemically, than you can out of hemp. If you took every other annual plant on the planet Earth, you wouldn't equal hemp for paper. If you put wow, that's pretty heavy. And what plant leaves the ground the healthiest of all the plants that grow on the planet Earth? Wow, it's hemp again. Wow, that's pretty strange that they got hemp outlawed, and it's the best paper source by far on Earth. You never need to cut down another tree. And then you find out about fiber. All of you gone back and you've touched the hemp fiber, you've worn hemp clothing, you've seen hemp around the last year or two. It wasn't around 10 years ago, 20 years ago. My partner and I were the only people I knew that had hemp clothing that we had imported from Indonesia. And we found out it was the softest fiber on the earth, the warmest fiber on the earth. the strongest, longest-lasting natural fiber on the earth. It grew the healthiest of all the fibers that grow on the planet Earth. Cotton, for instance, uses half of all the chemicals used on the planet to fight pests and weeds. Boll weevils are used on one crop, half of all the chemicals put out by DuPont, Monsanto, and Dow to poison the earth, and there's lots of chemicals put out. Half of those chemicals are used on cotton. Hemp has no enemies. Hemp doesn't need any chemicals to make it grow. Any chemicals to beat the enemies of hemp. There is no enemy of hemp except the incredible ignorance of our politicians and our police.
Here, here.
So, here you got the number one paper industry on earth. Wait, not just number one, it's greater than all the other possibilities for making paper. If you put them all together, won't even equal a few percentage points of hemp, and none of them are healthier. The healthiest, the biggest, the strongest, the longest lasting cloth fiber on earth is also hemp. Wow. What can you think about next? Well, the number one food source on the planet Earth, wouldn't you know it? The number one food source on the earth is the hemp seed. The seed of hemp is the highest of all the 3 million foods on earth in usable protein. There's about 3 million things you could possibly eat on earth. And the highest of all those from the vegetable kingdom in usable protein, the best protein, Edison protein, in the whole world, of all those 3 million plants, comes from the hemp seed, the marijuana seed.
That was great.
Who's got me?
It's
That was very informative. That was awesome.
It's 1:44 a.m.
Wow. You can just, Jack just rolls that voice, doesn't he? He just rolls that marijuana voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So on
Rest in
my
peace, still, we love you, Jack. We still think about you.
We're a commercial break now.
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
on my CBC, I was interviewed by CBC News here in Canada because they're changing the rules, and April 1st we're all gonna be fucked. But so they interviewed me, and I showed them what I was taking when I was having when I had my cancer, and then I showed them the pill of oil that I take. And it's in the video, and it's on my YouTube page. You guys should have a look, because it really makes a statement. Because I literally had probably 30 or 40 bottles of medicine that I was taking every day. Some 2 times a day, some 3 times a day, some when I needed them, some once a day, some every other day. But I had so many pills. The health nurse came over and looked at them and went, how the fuck are you I'm supposed to help you manage this. How do you? And I said, well, the ones on the left are once a day, and these are twice a day, and these are 3 times a day, and this is every other day, and this is, and she was like, I don't know how you're going to keep this all in order. I'm like, well, I got to do it, right? And now I take 1 pill of oil a day. It's awesome.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
I decided to add that I was on 19 pills a day. None of them working.
No.
And a lot of them were morphine, heroin derivative based, which were just completely. I was walking around in a complete haze. Complete haze. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't access my brain or nothing.
Oh no,
And
morphine will do that to you.
Now you're in a purple haze.
Yeah, man. I like a bit of purple haze. Do you have any?
I've got some catatonic. Oh my god, you gotta try it.
Catatonic.
I like the Timothy Leary version of the purple haze.
I love catatonic. I went and got some on my catamaran down in Catalina, I was going to bring it back, but unfortunately I was in a catastrophe.
Oh, I found a compassion club not very far from my house that has it, and I'm like, I bought them out of it.
Right
Like,
on.
yes, get more. That's really good. I want more of that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You know,
Oh, well. I love it. Oh, my God.
I do too.
You're just all showing off now. We got street sweepings in England.
Oh,
We got bush sweepings.
you need to become a bushmaster.
Yeah, mate. Or stuff that's growing in tents in people's houses for total profit. They've got no idea what medical is over here yet. Still, times are changing.
Right?
Yeah, I figure, like, we looked like Canada was going to go for a while there, and then we just...
We're coming back.
Oh, we're back.
A little special something for the lady in Canada.
Okay, all right.
It's time for hemp. In Canada, there are now 10 new rules for medical marijuana. Canada is implementing sweeping changes to its medical marijuana program. I reported about a month ago. Medical marijuana. 2 months ago. Has over 37,000 registered medical cannabis patients, and the new rules are expected to increase that number. Here are the 10 things to know about those rules, as reported by Ben Livingston. Number 1, no more patient registry. Before changes, patients had to obtain a medical cannabis authorization, then register with Health Canada in order to legally obtain medical cannabis. Now, the Canadian government is removing itself from the equation, and medical cannabis will be between a doctor and a patient, and a grower, of course. Number 2, sourcing options. Growers, dealers, healthcare, and practitioners. Patients may obtain medical cannabis directly from the producer or from the dispensary, called a dealer in the rules, or from their healthcare practitioner or hospital. Anyone may possess cannabis that they are helping to give to an authorized patient. Patients must choose one producer. Patients may have more producer options, but they can only choose one of those options at any time. Those wishing to switch between ganja growers will need to obtain new authorizations from their health care practitioner. Possession limits. Healthcare practitioners will determine the daily dose of cannabis required by individual users. Patients may possess up to 30 times that amount, with a maximum possession of 150 grams, over 5 ounces. Individual containers of cannabis may not exceed 30 grams. 5. No additives or measured doses. Cannabis that may not be sold with any additives. Anything that isn't dried marijuana or approved pesticide residual. It can't be sold in pill form or any measured dose. 6. No more home growth. Medical cannabis production facilities will no longer be allowed in residential homes. Producers will be required to have air filters, surveillance cameras, alarm systems, 24-hour security, and a host of sanitary practices to ensure their medicine is clean. 7. Import and export allowed. Perhaps surprisingly, the rule envisions the import and export of cannabis with appropriate permits. Don't expect this to be granted often. The rules also include provisions to comply with Canada's international obligations under the UN Single Convention Treaty on Narcotics. 8. Outdoor cannabis prohibited. Only indoor production will be allowed. 9. Pesticides must be approved. Only bug sprays growers may apply to their plants must be approved by the government. Producers must have cannabis tested, must include the THC, CBD ratios on the label, and must report any adverse reactions to their products. And number 10, mail order is okay. Medical cannabis producers may sell and ship medical cannabis to dealers, to other producers, or directly to patients. No longer must one fly the prop plane out of frigid Yukon to score legal medical cannabis. For more information, visit Health Canada's medical cannabis site, and specifically its medical cannabis FAQ documentation.
Feels like you should pronounce it fuck you.
Okay, so now there's some stuff about this that you guys don't know. So the CMA, which is the Canadian Medical Association, has threatened sanctions against any doctor who writes a prescription for marijuana because they don't really know what it will do. And I had to fight with my doctor to get this prescription written. I made him write it. I'm kind of a bully.
God bless you.
So the list of suppliers right now, I think there's 8. One of them is actually the Hershey's Air, like Hershey's chocolate. It's called Tweed. They're one of the listed suppliers. 5 ounces. I need a half a pound to make oil. So how is 5 ounces gonna fucking help me?
And I wouldn't buy their weed because their main strain
No,
is called the
I
Hershey's
got
Words.
one of them. They're willing to they're willing to, GMO, whatever kind of weed I want. But it's gonna cost me $7.50 a gram.
Wow.
And like my cancer meds, in BC we have Pharmacare or PharmaNet, and they pay because I've got cancer. They pay for all of my drugs for cancer.
But not your
They
pot.
have no plan for pot at all. I called the health minister and said, hey, what are you gonna do for me? Because there's gonna be 22,000 of me coming up your way. What are you gonna do? Oh,
Do
we
they
have no
something
plan
for
for that.
alternative treatments?
They have no plan.
Well, I bet there's going to be a plan created. I mean, it sounds like, it feels like, I mean, to hear what you're saying, if this does happen where all these people are going, no, you know what, I want this oil now, and I want to treat myself this way, and so how are you going to facilitate the funding for that? And if they don't come up with that,
I've been doing, but they won't answer me, right? I sent them all a video with self-addressed stamped envelope. I got no response. I sent the Ministry of Health BC, the Ministry of Health Canada. I sent Stephen Harper, my local MLA, my local MP. I sent them all with the self-addressed, and by law in Canada, they're supposed to respond. None of them did.
Wow.
wow.
I'm trying.
You rock, doll.
Yeah.
I actually said on the news, I'm going to be a criminal. I'm going to grow my own fucking pot. I hope they come and arrest me.
I wish
Then
we
I
had
can get
that
in front
song.
of a
I'm not
jury of 5 years and argue this fucking case and get this goddamn law off the books.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Well, Joanne, I'd love to have you come back on the show and keep us informed, on what's going on. I mean, this just sounds like
I'll happily do that.
great. That sounds great. We are starting to wrap it up now. I just want to thank you guys all for coming onto the show and being a part of it.
If I made the end.
Yes, and
Can I mention the charity? I needed to mention the charity.
absolutely. I was just gonna get to that. I was just going there. So please let us know about the charity.
Okay, right, because it's getting close, right. We've started a charity in the UK. I think we're really the only medical-based cannabis charity going, or medical-based website in the UK. We're called hempworkscharityuk.org. Anybody in the UK, please sign up for us. We are getting the law changed. There's some real good moves going on. I can't say too much, but what we need is we need your support. We need your hits. We need the likes. Because certain politicians are asking me for numbers. Yeah, if I can get the numbers, then we can get this whole crock of shit turned around overnight. Yeah,
Right on.
It's not a problem in England because they don't have to change the law. It's just a reclassification. Yeah, and one person can do that. Her name is called Theresa May. She's the Home Secretary. She knows she's got to do it. She's stuck in a corner. Come on, Theresa, do the right thing. Monday morning, sign the piece of paper. let's get on with it, because all this closing the door after the horses bolted nonsense like Canada, all this restriction, you're just holding on to something that, you know, this is King Canute, mate. You can't hold the tide back. It's
That's
over
right.
and done.
That's right, Teresa.
You've had the day, all right? Now stop it. Get real. People want the medicine. We're all out there. We are patients out of time. I'm telling you now, we drop dead before we stop taking it, because that is the only option we've got. Okay?
Now we're patients who are out of patience.
We're patients out of patience. Thank you, Ron. Yeah,
We are.
time for this rubbish.
Hey, can I tell my story? See if I can do it in a minute.
Sure.
Go for it.
Sure.
I went to this really cool marijuana comedy festival out west with a hot chick that was the host. And on the way home, I got pulled over by a cop in Arizona who didn't give a shit that I was a cancer patient and had marijuana oil for my cancer. He arrested me anyway because it's illegal in Arizona to have hash oil. So I was in jail for a month. I got gout in my foot and I couldn't walk, and I started complaining, and then I started getting sick and told the jail guards, I've got cancer, and they said, we don't care. I told the doctors, I've got cancer, and they said, tell us who your other doctor was. I said, it doesn't matter who my other doctor was, that's my medical history, it doesn't apply. I need a new doctor right now. And they said, they don't care. After 3 months in jail, I was rushed to the emergency room for a double transfusion because I had leukemia and was going to die within 48 hours. So they took me to the hospital in Arizona where I was diagnosed with leukemia, released from jail, and sent back home, only to be told that when I'm better, I should come back to Arizona to be prosecuted for my marijuana crime. How's that?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
So, listen, this political out there. Anybody that's political, the Nuremberg trials, you was not allowed to stand up and say you didn't know. You do know, and there will be trials if you don't stop this nonsense, because people are suffering and people are dying. This is against our human rights, the Human Rights Convention.
The real drug war criminals are who you're talking about. We will get those real drug war criminals, the politicians who keep these laws in effect.
Criminals under the UN Convention.
Okay,
The pot was made illegal in 1937, and the Cancer Society started in 1937.
Yeah.
Did you
Interesting.
Did you know that Timothy Leary went to the Supreme Court and had that 1937 Tax Act overturned, and marijuana was legal again until Nixon signed on to the UN Single Treaty on Drugs?
I didn't know that. But before we do go, Ronnie, I want you to mention about your GoFundMe for the healing.
Oh, thank you. I almost forgot. I'm such a pothead. I found a hotel.
Medicated.
I found a hotel out in Colorado, and it's a beautiful hotel. It's got like 28 rooms and a couple of apartments, and it's only $200,000. So I started a GoFundMe page that you can get to on my Facebook page or at my website, CannabisCancerSociety.com, and I'm trying to raise a shitload of money. I got $1 million for my goal, but if I get $200,000, I can buy this hotel, and I'll have cancer patients come there from other places and stay for 3 months while they do their cancer cure. And they can cure themselves in this private place that will never be bothered. It'll be legal for them to do it. It's my dream.
And
Dream will come true.
so you can go like what is the title of it again?
Cannabis Cancer Clinic. Help fund the Cannabis Cancer Clinic.
Yes, so please check that out on GoFundMe. I just want to wrap it up for a moment with please do go to timeforhemp.com and make a donation to us and keep us going here. We do really need your help. And also, my feeling is that I hope that this show, whoever might listen to it that maybe is sick or knows somebody who's sick, and to realize, hopefully this gives some hope that people are getting cured by using cannabis in ways that we are just it's a joy to discover what is going on right now and what our future might be because of what is happening right now. So that I think is our Valentine's Day gift, and I want to say thank you for it. So on that note,
I have a couple.
okay, okay.
I'm gonna close the show out with another
Oh,
song.
that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, okay, and this is for all the single ladies. Put your finger in it. Put your finger in it. All you single ladies, put your finger in it. Put your finger in it. Is that how it goes?
Is it?
Or put a ring on it. That's it. Put a
Oh
ring.
God, I was just getting this horrible vision of put my finger in what? Put my finger in what? I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's the Dyke song.
Oh yeah. Well, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
But anyway, this is for all you single ladies. This is for all you single ladies. I guess single guys too. Who ain't got no date, who ain't got no loved one, and find yourself all. Am I closing out the show? You got anything else to say or what?
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
And then if you're at home when you're closing out the night, and you're not smart enough to smoke marijuana, and you're drinking all that nasty old happy ass alcohol, and you're on a bender, oh my God, wait till tomorrow morning when you turn on Time for Him.
All I wanna do is feel good all the time. I'll do whatever it
Well, that was
takes.
fun.
That's the bottom line. I'm on a bender.
I think I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, thank you, Joanne. Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Full moon hound dog bender. And I got six
I don't have the money to go.
All I wanna do is smoke, drink, and
I don't know
drink.
what to do.
Have some good love every night and every day. I'm on a bender. Yeah, I'm on a bender. I'm on a full moon hound dog bender. And I got 6 long months to go. Well, one of these days, I clean up my act. I'm a strong summer and I face the fact. One of these days, I'll be missing to right. But come with me, daddy, 'cause I'm high tonight. All I wanna do is have some fun. I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. I'm on a bender. Yeah, I'm on a bender. I'm on a full moon hound dog bender. And I got 6 long months to go. Hey, come with me, baby, while my wallet is fine. There ain't no tomorrow, so don't worry about that. I'm on a bender. I'm on a bender. I'm on a full moon hound dog bender. And I got 6 long months to go. I'm on a full moon hound dog bender. And I got 6 more drinks to go. I'm on a full moon hound dog bender. And I got 6 long months to go.
Right on.
Right on. That's a great show. Thank you.
That was good show.
Yeah, yeah.
That felt out well. That felt good.
Show. Good
Yeah.
show, mate.
It was a great
Good
show.
stuff, mate.
Thank you
That's
for
all right.
doing it, you guys. You know, thank you. And Ronnie, thank you for co-hosting with me this week. I really appreciate it.
I'd love to do it forever, even if I got my own show.
Well, you know what? I will. Yeah. You know, if you want to, I mean, I mean, if I do need. I don't have anybody booked for next week. If you want to do next week too, we can still
Uh-huh.
kind of keep doing. You know, are you up for next week?
I am.
Okay, all right, so let's do that. And then,
Alright.
you know, I really liked, you know, the show, and so, I mean, again, it's nothing permanent. I mean, I know we all have lives, and I definitely got, like, there's Jason America who does really good. I'm sure he would want to come back, and so I'm just like, gonna rotate people from time to time, but you know, why not stay another week, right?
Yeah, this is my second life after all, right?
Right. Absolutely, you can do whatever the fuck you
Come on.
want.
Is this how you juggle your boyfriends too? You can stay for a couple of weeks and then
Yeah, kinda, you know.
a call from David. He wants to come in for a couple of weeks, and you're like, I don't know, go stay with Joanne.
But you guys,
Did you
I'm
see my meme that I created, Terry? It says, "How do you know if a hippie's been staying at your house?"
no.
He's still there, man.
No, we've got a better one. We got a better one than that. It's about musicians. What do you call a homeless musician? No girlfriend or something. Oh, I forgot the joke now. Sorry.
What do you call a homeless musician? My last
What do you
boyfriend?
call
I mean,
What do you call a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless.
oh, okay, that's it.
That's the one. Mine was the dyslexic version. I've got all the bits in. I just got them all back to front.
Oh man, that's funny. You guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna unplug here. It's been a long day.
Good night, dear.
So
Thanks, everybody.
but I know Steve and Casper have something to talk about too. So yeah, and then I'll be connected to you guys tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, groovy.
Okay.
Bye,
All
everyone.
right.
Good night.
Good night.
Get to drink with us, baby. We're dreaming of you.
Okay. Good night.